Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Watercolour Workshop. And today I'm going to be taking a look at this starter set of watercolour paints by Sennelier. I'm going to be painting up some swatches and showing you the colours that you might be able to achieve. So let's have a look at what we get for our money. I bought this set for about £20 British money online. One of the watercolour suppliers, Jackson's I think it might have been. So let's take the sleeve off, cardboard sleeve, and we've got a nice metal tin here. Let's take the lid off. And there we go. 5 tubes of paint in a protective sponge. Very nice, nice and snug. They won't rattle around. So good if you're travelling around. We've got the fairly standard starter set of a yellow, a red and a blue, the 3 primaries. And then we've got a couple of extras. So on the back of each tube, you get the information, the pigment information, transparency information, and so on. If you're a beginner, this might not make a lot of sense to you, but basically it tells you which pigments have been used, whether the paint is transparent, whether it's light fast, and other information. The red one is a bit of a mystery. There's no pigment information on it. Pigment NR, I don't know what that means. No, I don't know what that means. The little square means it's semi-transparent. So we'll see how that affects the mixing of paint later on. But all in all, nicely presented, a nice liquor tin. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, you can actually remove this sponge. Give yourself a little tin that you might be able to use on your travels. You could fit way more than 5 tubes in there, or pans. I just keep mine as it was when I bought it. But it's quite handy for taking to different locations. And on the back, description in French first, obviously, and then it's honey based. If you've not used a honey based watercolour before, that means it stays damp. So when you've had it in your palette for a while and you come back to it, it's still quite wet, which is a good thing for me. Okay, here's what I'm using my swatches. Here's what I'm using to paint the swatches. I've got this Cardi handmade cotton paper, 100% cotton, and it's A3. I've torn it up into 4 pieces. So each of those little swatches is an A5. I'm using this flat brush, it's 3/8 of an inch, it's a synthetic. And here we go with a little time lapse. So I'll go into this in detail in a moment, but basically what I do is I put 2 colours on each swatch. And then I mix a 50-50 mix of them, and then a 2/3 and a third mix of them as well. I'll explain this properly in a moment when we get going. So I also paint watered down versions of each mix, so you can see the full intensity and then increasingly diluted versions of each colour. And that gives you a really good idea of the different tones and values that you can achieve for each of the paints. So let's slow down to a sensible speed. Here's lemon yellow and bright red mixed together. So there's the lemon yellow, and then that's it with a brushful of water, and then another brushful, and so on. I do the same for the red. And then the one in the middle is a 50-50 mix of the yellow and the red. And then the one to this side is 2/3 yellow, 1/3 red. And then on the right hand side, I've got 2/3 red, 1/3 yellow. So as you can see, you can get a nice, and do the diluted versions of each as well. A nice range of pastel yellows and oranges. The red dilates down to a very nice pink. Quite handy for the skin colour maybe. Here's the lemon yellow and what they call Chinese orange. The range here is quite small because the two colours are fairly close to each other, I think. But if you look at the Chinese orange, it gives a really good starting point for a skin tone, I think. Yellow and blue. You would expect a lot of greens here. You get greens there, but the rest of it is more of a blue because they're both cool colours, I think. Well, the lemon yellow is very cool. The ultramarine is neutral, maybe slightly warm. That's a nice steely blue there, I think. I like that one. Because what's nice to me might not be nice to you. Everybody has their own tastes on colours. This is probably my favourite sheet because I like dark, moody colours and I like landscapes. I live in the north of England and this is my world for a lot of the year. So yeah, it's quite surprised, I think, that if you mix, certainly surprised me the first time I discovered it, if you mix a yellow and a dark colour, a black, or in this case a Payne's grey, you get some lovely greens combined with the more bright greens from the yellow and blue. You've got a really good range there, ranging from the light to mid to a very impressive grey-green. Okay, orange and red together. These colours are quite close to each other, I think, and so the range available here is a bit more limited. I think if I had a criticism of the whole set, it is that the red or the orange are redundant. They're so similar to each other. I think I would have preferred a more magenta style of red. Anyway, classic orange and blue. Bird sienna and ultramarine is a classic combination. This is similar. You get a good range of neutrals. So you get some browns if you mix mostly orange into your mix. And you get a darker grey, bluey grey if you mix more blue in. And if you mix 50-50 to colour them down the middle, you get a very nice neutral grey colour. Happy with that one? Happy with this one as well. The Chinese orange and the Payne's grey. A really nice set of neutral browns. Nice warm browns there, more neutral one in the middle. A kind of cool brown towards the right. So some useful colours there. It's not all about bright colours when you paint. Here's the one where I expected it to struggle. I was a bit dubious about the red because it didn't have any pigments information. But to be honest, these aren't bad. If you want a really bright, vibrant purple, you're going to have to invest in some kind of magenta colour instead of a red. I liked these. It's the middle column. It's like an aubergine. And yeah, this one is more blue. I like that very dark blue there. Really nice. And then again, another set of nice colours here with the red. I'd had my doubts about the red, but it's quite a good mixer. That middle column of dusky pinks is really something. And then the 2-to-1 red to grey is some nice lilacs almost. A surprise one for me, that. Okay, what do you get if you mix blue and a colour that's made of mostly a black and blue? Yeah, you get a lot of blue. But that's a lovely one, isn't it? And then these are more neutral, kind of a night sky almost. It's a good range. Missing a very bright pinky red, but otherwise, if you're a landscape artist, perfect because you don't need bright. If you're into pastel colours, then you can certainly get a lot of them. Oh, here we are. Here's the two paintings that I've used these sets with recently. sunflowers and a puffin. I've got tutorials on these. I'll leave a link in the description. Here's the sunflowers. So from the swatch, you can see that I used lemon yellow on the petals, and then I mixed in some Chinese orange with the yellow to make some shading colours. Diluted it. So you can see there how useful the swatch would be if you knew to watercolour. And then the background I'm showing you there, that it's ultramarine diluted with a good amount of water. And then I mixed yellow, orange and blue together to make this earthenware colour. Obviously I don't have swatches for multiple mixes. It's something that you have to learn through time by educating yourself with some colour theory. So I'm also showing you here that if you mix the orange and the blue together, you get some browns, which are used on the tabletop there. Okay, on to the puffin. He's got some yellow and red mixed together on the bill, and more yellow mixed together with the red for the feet, and a little strange thing on his face. And the black, undiluted, is the Payne's Grey, and the white is the Payne's Grey, very, very diluted. So that's it. A decent set, good value for money, and well worth trying out if you're new to watercolour. Hope you found that useful. Thanks for watching.